freedom, 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 freedom.
Freedom Radio.
This is Freedom Global News.
Independent National Electoral Commission releases guidelines for political campaigns and party expenses, among others.
This is Freedom Global News.
Ministry of Environment warns against bad environmental hygiene during Kano monthly rounds. Correspondent reports as World Health Organization says adolescence period a vulnerable time for children.
This is Freedom.
And on the foreign scene, coup attempt thwarted in Sao Tome and Principe.
This is Freedom Global News.
Good evening, you listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM. I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Today is the 25th of November 2022, which is equivalent to the 1st of Jumada Ula 1444 after Hijri. And now the news in full. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has approved the publication and release of the guidelines for political campaigns, as well as election expenses of political parties, candidates and aspirants. This is contained in a statement issued by Festus Okoye, the National Commissioner and Chairman of Information and Voters Education Committee in Abuja. Okoye said that the Commission met on Thursday and deliberated on several issues, including the publication and release of the guidelines, as well as deliberated on the appointment of a secretary to INEC. He noted that the Commission approved the publication and release of the guidelines for the conduct of political rallies, processions and campaigns, as well as that of finances and election expenses of political parties, candidates and aspirants. Okoye said that the INEC has consequently uploaded the two documents to its website and social media handles, while copies would be made available to political parties, civil society groups, the media and other critical stakeholders. He reminded political parties of their obligation to submit the required reports to the Commission in accordance with the provisions of Section 90, Subsection 4 of the Electoral Act 2022 and the applicable sanctions for failure to comply as provided in Section 89, Subsection 4 of the Electoral Act. The Kano State government said it will punish the leaders of Enlimu Market in Naibawa due to the unsanitary business environment. Commissioner of Environment Dr. Kabiru Ibrahim Gizo disclosed this today during an inspection of the environment, which is conducted at the end of every month. Dr. Kabiru Ibrahim Gizo further condemned the condition of the market.
We have gone round to a little extent, and we are dismayed. We are not happy. We are really disappointed with what we have seen. Sanitation exercise has not been conducted in this market. Everywhere is dirty. You can see rotten oranges right here before us, and refuse everywhere. So it shows that the management of the market has not complied with the policy of Kano State government of end of month sanitation for Friday. And like I said, we are not happy, we are disappointed, and we are calling on the management of this market to ensure that they have sanitized this market. We are giving them a notice of 3 days. We are going to take necessary measures on the market management.
In addition, the commissioner visited the Naiba bus station and he praised their cleanliness.
We inspected the 3 sections of the motor park belonging to the 3 different associations. And Alhamdulillah, we are really happy with what we have seen. Sanitation has taken place here, seen total compliance with the exercise. We've even inspected some drainages. They have been silted, they have been cleared. And we also inspected one of the public conveniences within the motor park. It is very, very clean. We even saw some cleaners cleaning the conveniences. So we really commend the operators of the public conveniences.
Correspondent Medina Shio Hausawa reports that the monthly sanitation inspection round was attended by the Sanitation Committee, the Mobile Court and other security officials. And on the sporting arena, the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development has announced new dates for the staging of the 2022 National Principals Cup tournament. Mamatan Uba has details of this and other sports updates.
After executive deliberations on new possible date, which will not put the calendar of school into jeopardy, the state finals will now hold between November 24 and 26. The zonal finals will take place between December 11 and 15, while the national finals is scheduled for January 18 to 22nd. The Nigerian School Sport Federation is saddled with the responsibility of coordinating the organization of the state finals, after which the baton will be handed over to the zonal coordinators for the prosecution of the zonal finals. The tournament then transit to the national finals that will take place at the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dari, committed to reinstating the National Principal Cup, and his administration is set to host another edition of the championship that has produced international heroes for Nigeria. In another update, former AS Roma and French midfielder Ricardo William Fati has expressed his disappointment at the performance of African teams at the ongoing 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar. No African team has won a match in the opening, with the record presently leading to 2 draws and 3 losses. Morocco and Tunisia fall stalemate against Croatia and Denmark respectively. Cameroon lost 1-0 to Switzerland. Senegal succumbed to a 2-0 defeat to the Netherlands. And Ghana's Black Stars were S3-2 by Portugal last night. Meanwhile, Bayelsa Queens have been rewarded with 28 million by the Bayelsa Queens Governor Deo Diri following their impressive performance at the 2022 Cup Women's Champions League. The Prosperity Girls, who participated in the competition for the first time, finished in the 3rd place. The 21 first-team players will receive 1 million each, while the 14 reserve players will get 500,000 each. Coach Domo Okara got 1.1 million, his assistant 500,000 each, support team staff 300,000 each, and all the board members got 1.5 million. The Bayelsa Queens were also rewarded with $200,000 by CAF. And on tennis, Italy advanced to the semi-final of the 2022 Davis Cup with a 2-1 win over the USA after a single victory for Lorenzo Sonego and double triumph for Simone Bololi and Fabio Pogonini. Sonego overcame Francis Tiafoe in straight set 6-3, 7-6, 1-7 to put Italy 1-0 ahead. Muhammad Sanuba, Freedom Radio.
The global news is coming to you from Freedom Radio 99.5 FM. You can send your comments, opinions, and watch us live on Freedom Radio Nigeria on Facebook.com. You can get the link to the page on our website, freedomradionig.com, or call us through this number, 082 444163. Welcome back. You still listen to Freedom Global News on 99.5 FM with Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. The World Health Organization describes adolescence period as a vulnerable time for children since they may experience several problems such as unhealthy behaviors that may lead to significant problems later in life. Correspondent Ismail Suleiman Sani takes a look at the severity of the issue and files in this report.
According to the World Health Organization, over 1.5 million adolescents and young adults aged between 10 to 24 years died in 2020, nearly 5,000 every day. The report also mentioned violence, self-harm, and mental conditions as the leading causes of deaths among adolescents and young adults. The report said half of all mental health disorders in adulthood start by age 14, but most cases are undetected and untreated. According to the American Psychological Association, APA, adolescence is associated with volatile emotions and boundary-testing behavior as individuals explore and assert personal identity, learn to navigate fear relationships, and transition to independence. Freedom Radio interviews some parents on how they'll deal with their children when they become young adults.
You feel bad now when you try to control a child, try want to show you that you know what he's doing. You send it to school, you make it to learn, but you want to show you that you know more than you. It's not easy, to be honest.
When a child is growing, he becomes more stubborn. And when you talk to them as parents, they feel that this is their time to take some certain decisions on their own, which is quite disturbing to me as a parent. What I did as a parent to control or reduce my child's stubbornness at this age is enrolling him in a school that is combined both Western and Islamic education.
We are not happy, but we have to be patient because they are always stubborn, very stubborn. If you are not patient, it will lead to a very difficult life.
As parents, we should listen to them because the more you criticize or judge them, the more you push them away from you.
An educational psychologist and Vice Chancellor of Al-Istiqama University, Sumaila, Professor Salisu Shehu, described the challenges of the period.
The adolescent child has a lot of dilemma, he has a lot of ambivalence, and he has a lot of stress, which sometimes induces depression in the children. Adolescents come under a great deal of influences, but the most impactful influence that affects the adolescents is the influence of their peers. They are more loyal to their peers and friends even more than the school authority and so on and so forth.
A lecturer with the Department of Sociology, Bayero University, Kano, Dr. Bella Ibrahim, has associated the present problems of adolescents with a transition in the family system.
Formerly, the family institution in northern part of Nigeria used to be a kind of used to have larger family. But now, family is actually facing nucleation. We are now moving towards nuclear family. And because of that, you find out that that kind of union or relationship or a kind of communalism actually has become eroded. So every parent now is responsible for his or her own training. Every parent.
According to experts, addressing harmful and unequal gender norms and relationships that can impact adolescent, current, and future health is fundamental to positive development. Ismail Suleiman Sani, Freedom Radio.
Another foreign senior coup attempt has been thwarted in Sao Tome and Principe, according to the Prime Minister of the African island. Nation generally praised for its stability. Prime Minister Patrice Trovoado said military barracks came under attack early today. He stated this at a news briefing aired on private broadcaster radio, Somos Todos Primos. The Prime Minister noted that they were targeted by an attempted coup, where at least 6 people have reportedly been detained. The head of the Economic Community of West African States condemned the coup attempt in the Gulf of Guinea nation. Trovoado said 4 attackers were neutralized and detained after the coup attempt. A former president of the National Assembly, Delphine Neves, was arrested today morning, and a former soldier, Arlesio Costa, was also detained in relation to the coup. And with this, we've come to the end of today's global news. But before we go, highlights of the major stories. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has approved the publication and release of the guidelines for political campaigns, as well as election expenses of political parties, candidates, and aspirants. The World Health Organization describes the adolescent period as a vulnerable time for children, since they may experience several problems such as unhealthy behaviors that may lead to significant problems later in life. And on the foreign scene, the Prime Minister of Sao Tome and Principe says a coup attempt have been thwarted today. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Hauwa Adamu Kiyawa. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a wonderful weekend.
This is Freedom Global News.
Freedom. Freedom, 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 freedom.
Freedom Radio.
So you gather enough power to hammer your Bonga club to victory? Predator Energy Drink. They summer your opportunity to win travel waka to go totori yourself for Anfield. Plus including other correct prizes them like Liverpool jersey, football, and plenty recharge card. Just buy one bottle of Predator. Look under the cover. Type the unique code, give space, name, give space, age, give space, state where you from the text to 50221. The more you buy, the higher your chances to win. Oh, this service only available to MTN, 9 Mobile, and Airtel subscribers. Predator Energy. Rule your kingdom.
A'a ba komai ta gaba ta.
Hajiwa da lafiya? Ya na gan ku a asibiti ice ko dai lafiya?
Lafiyar kenan. Mun zo karɓar rigakafin COVID-19 ne kashi na biyu.
Rigakafin COVID-19 har da matarka mai juna biyu?
Ko in dan tofa albarkacin baki na nan.
Muna jin ki malama Nas.
To